Hello. Once again, I come before you as a representative of the Illuminati. You may call me the Man. Well, I'm sorry I was absent last week. I intended to be back, but the whole government shutdown thing and all that kind of stuff, it gets kind of spiraled out of control. And once we solved the shutdown, we went on to... Oh, you probably wonder how we solved the shutdown, didn't you? Well, I mean, if you listen to the president, he told us what he needed all along. And of course, with the alien on the... You guys know the whole drill. You've seen the videos. Anyway, it doesn't always come out very clear, but we gave him exactly what he wanted, and that was a wall burger. He wanted some Wahlburgers, and we had Marky Mark himself and Donnie Wahlberger show up at the White House and deliver them, and he was so happy because the president, if there's one thing he likes more than walls and burgers, it's a Wahlburger, and also celebrities. So he was very happy, and then of course he backed off his requirement for an actual wall, which is what most people thought he was wanted. No, he satisfied that need with a nice big Wahlburger. So anyway, that's not this week's video. No, that's so simple. It was just such a quick little thing. I just thought I'd let you know where I was at. We dealt with that, and then we had some fallout from that. And turns out some of the Wahlburger sauces didn't quite agree with the alien that was there was the thing. Anyway, the State of the Union was delayed for a bit, and then it came, and then he had to do it again. So it was wild. It was just a wild time, and I wasn't able to make it back in time to do the video, which is fine. I mean, it's fine. I hope you guys are willing to hang with us a few extra days, in the promise that we will be back occasionally and as often as we can to let you know what's going on. So that's why we're here today. This week's video comes to you all the way from Google, and it was a wonderful announcement was made. You probably got an email from Google within the last week or so announcing that Google Plus is no longer going to be with us. Finally, that whole experiment in totalitarianism and identity has been swept under the rug of history, to be forgotten, hopefully, forever. So I came here to congratulate you. Now, a little history, of course. Google, monstrous company, multinational corporation, gigantic in scale, announced in 2010, 2011 that they were having their own social media platform, the Google Plus. And then, of course, a lot of people went, so what? I mean, they already had Facebook, so why would they need a Google Plus? Most people didn't. So Google Plus CEOs decided that they would integrate Google Plus into everything that Google had. I mean, you couldn't really use Google or anything Google did unless you had a Google Plus account, including, of course, YouTube. You may remember all the hubbub back in 2013. That's actually when this channel started limiting its output due to the fact that people were forcing various conditions upon us and everybody associated with YouTube, including the founders of YouTube, who, if they were really all upset about it, probably shouldn't have sold to Google. But anyway, whatever. So you had to have a Google Plus account to even comment or start a YouTube channel or anything like that, and it became all integrated and very restrictive. Now, part of that, of course, was trying to boost the social media part of Google Plus. Another part might have been a little more nefarious. Now, the thing about Google is there was a push about 2009, 2010, till about 2014 or so, for governments to know that you are, in fact, who you are when you're online. I mean, anybody can say that they are who they are. Anybody can. I can claim to be some random fella who's got his own video business somewhere in the United States instead of the person that I am, which of course is the Man. No, anybody can claim to be anything, and so Google wanted to make sure who you were, and also most of the governments in the world wanted to make sure that you were who you said you were, and so Facebook was part of it. The whole thing, you had to start using your real names, right? Your identities became who you really were, as verified as much as they possibly could. Now, some people, of course, clone other people's accounts and all this kind of stuff. People are always going to find a way around it, but they wanted a set way to say, well, this person said this and this person said that, and those mean comments from these people or threats or whatever actually came from these people. They want to make sure they could go after them if they did something wrong. That's what they told you. Of course, what they really want is to know everything about you so they could sell you stuff, and they can sell that information to people who sell you stuff. That's all they really wanted. But you already know that. We've already talked about how if you're not paying for a product, you are the product. We've already discussed that some videos ago in the Facebook thing and the privacy stuff, all that, right? Anyway, Google Plus was part of that. They were a whole part of that whole push at that time to verify that you were a real person. And of course, if you're forced to sign up for stuff and you have to prove who you are in order to actually just use any of their services, chances are you probably are who you say you are. So yeah, that was part of the whole thing too. Well, that whole project, it kind of went away. There were privacy issues and lots of hackers. I mean, if you've got that kind of information on people, other people, more nefarious people, they're going to come looking for it. And you've conveniently collected it all into one place, whether it be Google or Facebook or PayPal or anywhere else. And so you're suddenly going to be attracting a lot of negative attention as people want all those little bitty details about you so they can pretend to be you online. Ooh, Equifax. Any of that ring a bell? Yeah. Anyway, so they're going to come hunting. And it was decided in the upper echelon that perhaps maybe we should figure out a different way to make things more secure online. And perhaps we shouldn't be putting people's identity and very, very personal details in the hands of hackers. So, and that's initially how things started, and ironically, that's how things have kind of wound up when it comes to Google Plus. Google Plus became something that was so reviled, all that pushback. We could have told them that, we're the Illuminati. We know how people react when they're told what to do, which is why we don't tell people what to do. We nuance, we nudge, we kind of push in the right direction. We use media, we use various things in order to kind of like push people to think about things, and then they make their own decisions, of course, because that's how people change. They have to make their own decisions. You can't tell people what to do without some kind of pushback. And so there was a huge pushback, including from this channel, amongst all the YouTubers, amongst all the people who were trying to use things. They just decided not to use Google Plus. Sure, you got an account because you had to have one, but you didn't use it. And Google will tell you themselves, like 90% of all the traffic that they had on Google Plus, it lasted 5 seconds. It's like people just signed on and they're like, ugh, it's still there, and then they turned it off. So yeah, it wasn't a success as an identity platform. It was not a success as a social media platform. It just wasn't a success. And the final nail in the coffin came when they discovered that about 500,000 people or so could have been exposed to security breach. And they could fix that, they could announce that, they could deal with all the regulatory and the headaches and the bad publicity of that, or they could just shut the whole thing down. And so, which way would you go? I believe they made the right decision. They just decided to shut it all down. So the little hack that developers had, that they could make apps and things for Google Plus, it doesn't really matter if there is no more Google Plus, correct? So off it goes. So finally, it's going away, which is something that we wanted for years now, and something that we all did together, collectively. You did your part. You just didn't go there. We did our part. We told you this is a bad idea. Remember the little handcuff pictures that we put on the Google Plus? You remember that? Did you guys ever go to see our little handcuff thing? I took it down a long time ago because it was already on its way out. But yeah, anyway, yeah, so we worked together. You guys worked together with us. Collectively, we destroyed a really bad idea. So, chalk one up for another win, right? You helping us out. And we appreciate that. We really appreciate when people come together, get behind an idea such as freedom, not having your identity stolen, not being forced into things. We go after things like that. We love that kind of mentality, and we're really happy when the rest of the world kind of pitches in too. That's just great. So it gives us a lot of hope for the future. There's some things not to be hopeful about. There's always something that you could really worry about if you really, really wanted to, but not in this case. In this case, we all got a win. Well, Google didn't, but you know, they'll get over it. They've got all the things that you can search with, and now they've got the little listening device in your house you can order stuff with. So yeah, they're going to be fine. Don't worry about them. Not really sure you should have something in your house that listens to you all the time. But anyway, that's another video. That's another day. We appreciate your help on this thing. And also, we appreciate your continued help. We appreciate the support of this channel. We appreciate the views that you have. And with the Illuminati, always in the mindset of trying to bring the world into a more kind and gentle way in which to live, we would appreciate a couple of different things. We would appreciate that we watch the video, you leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you'd like to hear about. We've got several ideas from the last few videos that we have that people are curious about, so we're processing what we can actually tell you about certain things without ruining other things. And so yeah, we're going to be working on those things in the future. And one of the other things you can do is when you walk outside your house or your apartment, your tent, wherever you happen to dwell, and you look up there in the sky and you see those chemtrails blazing up there, why, we the Illuminati would just suggest that you just relax and breathe deeply.